Let us be gentle as we move through the vistas. Let us let love show the way. As the unknown scares us, let's team with support, for only God knows the truth. Let us be gentle with those who don't know. Let us be free to let our minds disagree. We all look so different, only one thing the same. We are all in the palm of the Lord. Let us be gentle when our hearts and minds need rest. Let us observe and not rush to reset. There is no need to run and no need to hide when the one who heals all is time. I just wrote this poem, and it's very interesting because I often write, and sometimes there's a slight edit before I share a poem. And here I had crossed out a word, replaced it with different words. And as I was reading it, it self-corrected. And when I look back at it, it's exactly how it was meant to be. And to me, this is a lesson in there's a purity in the way the words land. And sometimes the mind interferes. And sometimes we allow it. And then we get into this little loop of trying to correct the speech, trying to correct something when actually it was already pure. And it's interesting. I can relate to this on a larger level in terms of how I show up in general. And so there's a lesson in that for me. And as I interact with other content, there are so many generous way showers out there. It really warms my heart. As I interact with that content, I realize that there are so many struggles we share. But the biggest thing for me, sitting here, is that this feels like the first time I'm sharing something off the cuff, but without this huge sense of excitement inside me. I'm not saying I'm not excited. I am. I'm saying that I have this peace. I'm honoring this feeling of being gentle on myself and feeling the need to share this message of let us be gentle on ourselves and on others. And this is not, it's actually a message of forgiveness. This is not about an idea that we are not gentle on others. This is to say, as we interact with others, and I wanted to say interface. I'm going to look up what that means just now, the nuance between the words. As we interface with others and take in what they say and observe how we're triggered and how we respond, let's be gentle on ourselves. Recognize the parts of us that are exactly like them, where we all live in this unknown, all of us. It's a spectrum. So it's hard to say where someone is on that spectrum. But one thing's for sure, we can rest. We can rest assured that while we're all different, we're all actually in the same place. Another thing that it's like an appreciation. This is a bit of a weird appreciation for me, but I feel myself able to appreciate this loneliness I feel. When I say loneliness, I mean I've become so comfortable and at peace in my being alone in this body that I'm in and in this world that I exist in. And again, there are opportunities to interface with others, which definitely make one feel not so alone. But in between those moments, in between those times, where I'm an observer of someone else's work, where I'm a receiver of someone else's healing, I'm able to see them and appreciate our togetherness in our loneliness. And I paused there because that made me feel so emotional, and I didn't expect it. Because sometimes you think no one like you is listening. That's how I felt when I was watching something this morning. Sometimes you feel like nobody like you is listening to what you're sharing and the healing that you provide. And I'm here to tell you that we are all listening. We are all in this together. And you may not have sight of what you do, but honestly, these tears on my face are the evidence. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that. So I want to just explain something. I have this account called Pyramid Energy where I do all my work. But there's a separate account that I've always had, that I observe from and I interact from, and I'm free to share what I say from there, and that's like my viewer's avatar. And you know, this thing is not, it doesn't feel so straightforward, because at face value it's just natural. I mean, I had an account, it has a name, I use it. It doesn't have my name Khunze on it, but I'm saying I use it and I comment from it, etc. But at all times I hold in my awareness, I have pyramid energy in my awareness. But I've not assumed the identity of pyramid energy as the one who interacts out there with other people. And so there's this realization that, first of all, perhaps we are all like this. Perhaps we are all like this, and it perpetuates this feeling of moving in the world alone as you are. But at the same time, it provides a level of protection and freedom, freedom in protection, protected freedom. Because it's like this, I don't know, I don't feel like explaining that any further. So, this message is a thank you for everything, a thanking you for your vulnerability, a thanking you for your service, and for your heart, which from my end consistently stays open. And I thank you for that. And this goes way beyond the accounts I watch. I'm not saying this is limited to accounts that I watch. This is to thank anyone who identifies as a way shower, because we don't see the ripple effect of what we do. We don't get to see that evidence. What we do get is to experience the evidence of it through our own healing. So that, what I mean by that is how you move in the world heals me. because we're connected. So things that you overcome, you help me to overcome them in myself. You make the work easier. And I never know. It's hard to say who the first person who breaks through the crack of that ceiling is. It's hard. We don't know, but we don't need to know. We don't need to know who broke the crack in the ceiling to make it easier for others to push through. We don't know. And it doesn't matter. It makes it easier for all of us. And it's so good to know that one doesn't just rely on themselves in this world. That the load is carried with us. We carry each other in so many ways. And so when I experience a fear that I may not make it through a certain thing, I can rely on the fact that someone else has already done this. Someone else is working on the same thing as me. And maybe we push through it at the exact same moment. Who knows? But again, it doesn't matter. And so from the bottom of my heart, which happened to just open today, I didn't know what this poem was about fully, but I could feel it. But now that I've expanded on it, I understand it so much more, and that this poem is not from nowhere, and that this poem is real, and that it's for us. Thank you. God bless, and sending you love.